All right, let's get started. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of batteries.
Batteries, yeah.
Apparently, a lot of you are out there looking for the very best battery. So
Hmm.
we found this list, top 10 best battery brands
Okay.
from a website called the Top Tens.
Right?
And this is all about user experiences.
Yeah. It is. I mean, you're not going to find this in like Consumer Reports or something like that.
Right, exactly.
This is all, people out there in the real world.
Yeah, it's crowdsourced.
Outsourced exactly.
Opinions and stories. So
Yeah.
we're not just going to like read the list. We're
Right.
going to like really,
We're going to dive deep.
yeah, unpack it
Yeah.
and see if we can't maybe pull out some battery wisdom
See what we can learn.
along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So where do we even begin? I mean, this list has like everything from
I think we should start with the big boys,
Okay.
the heavy hitters.
Okay, so
Duracell Energizer.
Duracell and Energizer.
Yeah, I mean, those are the ones that like you just think of batteries, that's what you think of, right?
Right.
But even
Uh-huh.
they have some controversy.
Yeah, some mixed reviews for
Yeah.
sure. I
Mhm.
mean, one user said that a single Duracell battery powered their Xbox
Oh, wow.
for an entire summer vacation.
Really?
2.5 months
Oh my goodness.
of gaming.
Wow.
But then another user ran this test and found that Energizer actually outperformed Duracell by over an hour.
It's interesting, like
Yeah.
how much that difference is the battery itself
Yeah,
and how much of it is, other variables,
right.
the device, how they're using it, the temperature, all those other things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we all know that batteries don't last forever. But
Right.
like an hour,
That is significant.
that's significant, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially between like the top dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about like the more budget-friendly options? Is it worth sacrificing performance for a cheaper price?
Well, that's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this list mentions Rayovac as a potential contender.
Okay.
They say it uses similar technology to the big guys, Duracell, Energizer,
Yeah.
but at a lower cost.
Yeah.
So is it worth it?
Yeah.
Are you going to end up buying, 2 Rayovac batteries for every 1 Duracell?
Right, right.
So it's a long game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So is it always a case of like you get what you pay for?
I don't know.
Or, further down the list, there's someone who swears by Panasonic batteries
Okay.
and says that they're half the price
Mhm.
of like the big name brands,
Okay.
but perform just as well.
Interesting.
And then there's this one person said that they had a Panasonic battery last 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Wonder if that was like in a, like a clock or something,
Yeah, maybe.
or a remote.
Yeah, right.
Something that wasn't using a lot of.
Something low drain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just got really lucky.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was just a really, really good battery.
I mean, it's possible, right?
Yeah,
It does make you think, like, what's the potential for longevity in these things?
right, right.
If you store it right, if it's in the right device.
Yeah, is there a certain type of battery chemistry
Mhm.
that lasts longer?
Right, right.
Or is it
the chemistry?
more about how you're using it?
Is it the usage?
Or where it's stored?
I mean, there's a science to these things.
Right.
Alkaline batteries, the ones that we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
they rely on a chemical reaction to create electricity.
Yeah.
So things like temperature, humidity, those can all affect how quickly the battery drains.
Okay.
But it's not just about the environment.
Right.
It's also about the device that it's in.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
So if you're using digital camera or a gaming system is going to drain the battery
yeah, something with a high drain.
faster than like a remote or a clock.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
A high drain device is demanding a lot more power, which puts a lot of stress on that battery.
So you could have like the best battery
Right.
in the world, but if it's powering a power hungry device,
Yeah, it's going to go quickly.
yeah, it's not going to last.
Yeah. So, okay.
Which is why it's important to remember that there's no like one size fits all best battery.
Right.
It really depends on what you're using it for.
Okay, so we've talked about the big brands. We've talked about this Panasonic that maybe lasted 8 years.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that one.
But this list goes way beyond Duracell and Energizer.
Mm-hmm.
There are brands on here I've never even heard of,
Really?
like Q-Force.
Q-Force, I don't think I've heard of that one.
One user says they used to make batteries that would last for years,
Huh.
but now you can't find them anywhere.
Are they still around?
I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder what happened to them.
Yeah, it's like the battery version of Bigfoot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
you hear these rumors, but like, are they really out there? I'm kind
Yeah.
of leaning towards like, maybe these were good in their time,
Mm-hmm.
but like battery technology has advanced
Right.
and maybe they just couldn't keep up.
They got left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a graveyard of forgotten brands.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
It does.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a theme here of like this cost versus performance.
Right.
Like a lot of these users are weighing like the price premium of the big brands
Mhm.
with like potential savings
Right.
of going with these lesser known brands.
Right.
Like
Right.
a few people are like, yeah, I just go with that because it's cheaper.
Right. And it's available everywhere too.
Yeah.
You can
Like,
find those pretty much anywhere.
yeah.
So if it does the job,
Yeah, if the performance is pretty much the same, then
right, why pay more?
yeah, why pay more?
Especially if you're just using them for your remote or something like that.
Right, exactly.
It's not like you need them to last for years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's this mention of IKEA batteries.
IKEA batteries. I've never even thought about IKEA batteries.
Apparently they're incredibly cheap
Really?
and surprisingly durable.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You never know where you're going to find a good battery these days.
I know. You
You
really
don't.
It's like we're really venturing beyond just the battery aisle here
Yeah.
into like the
Of
stories.
the world of batteries.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
experiences,
Gotcha.
the anecdotes,
Mm.
even some battery folklore.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean this list is full of great stories.
Yeah.
I mean one user said they got 162 hours
Wow.
out of a Sony battery and a flashlight.
That's almost a week.
That's almost a full week. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And then there's this user whose life was changed by Voyager batteries.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to hear more about these Voyager batteries.
I know, but the list doesn't say.
Oh, come on.
It's a total cliffhanger.
A battery cliffhanger. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep an ear out for those.
Yeah.
To see if those pop up again.
But not all the stories are good.
Oh.
There's this cautionary tale
Oh, no.
about Sunbeam super heavy duty batteries
Okay.
that are apparently notorious for leaking.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, battery horror story.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in like an expensive device or something.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess sometimes you do get what you pay for.
I guess so.
Maybe we've
Yeah.
seen some examples where that's not true, but
Yeah.
maybe sometimes it is.
Yeah. This whole deep dive is really making me question what I thought I knew about batteries.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. You know, we think we know these things,
Yeah.
but then you look a little closer and
There's always more to learn.
always more to learn. Absolutely.
One thing I'm curious about.
Yeah.
There's this brand, GP Batteries.
Okay.
I've definitely heard of that.
Yeah, me too. It's a pretty big brand.
But it's ranked surprisingly low on this list.
Interesting.
I wonder if there's something we're missing here.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like,
It makes you wonder if there are other things going on
yeah, maybe.
besides just brand recognition.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe there are other factors that are affecting those rankings.
Right.
What
Right.
about like battery chemistry?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do different battery types work for different devices?
Right.
These are all things to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've only just begun.
This is really, really interesting.
Yeah,
This is making me realize that we're really just scratching the surface
exactly.
of the battery universe.
It's a whole world out there.
It is. Okay, well, I'm ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's see what other battery secrets we can uncover.
I love it.
So we're back and still thinking about these batteries.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
There is. And I wanted to kind of circle back to that whole thing with the GP batteries.
Okay.
I mean, it is a pretty big brand name.
It is. Yeah, you see it everywhere.
Yeah, but it's ranked surprisingly low
Yeah.
on this list.
It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah, it does. It makes me wonder if maybe brand name recognition isn't the be-all and end-all
Right.
when it comes to, like, actual battery performance.
Maybe there's something else going on
Yeah.
that we're just not seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they have like, you know, a specific type of battery that's really good
Right.
for certain things, but just isn't as popular with the average person.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It reminds us that there really isn't, like, one best battery.
No.
It all depends.
It depends on what you need it for.
Yeah. And, you know, you mentioned earlier that different types of batteries are good for different things.
Right.
We've been talking mostly about alkaline batteries, but what about lithium-ion batteries?
Oh, lithium ion.
Yeah.
Those are the powerful ones.
Okay.
Yeah, they can pack a lot of energy into a small package.
Okay.
So that's why you see those in like, laptops and smartphones and
Oh, okay.
electric cars,
Right. Okay.
things that need a lot of juice.
So would it be fair to say that comparing alkaline to lithium ion is kind of like comparing a sprinter to a marathon runner?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And like which one is better just depends on what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so alkaline batteries are like the sprinters.
Yeah, they give you a quick burst of energy,
Okay.
but they don't last as long.
Okay, and lithium ion is more of a marathon runner.
Marathon, slow and steady, they can go for a long time.
Okay, so if I'm just like changing the batteries in my TV remote,
Yeah,
alkaline's probably fine.
probably fine. Yeah.
But if I'm going camping
Right.
for the weekend and I need to keep my phone charged.
You're going to want that lithium-ion power bank.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's about having the right tool for the job.
Okay, so what about, like, are there any tips or tricks
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
for, like, making your batteries last longer?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things is storage.
Storage, okay.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're storing them properly.
So, like, not in the freezer?
No, not in the freezer.
Okay.
That's an old wives' tale.
Okay, all right.
It might have worked back in the day with certain types of batteries,
Okay.
but for the most part, you don't want to freeze your batteries.
Okay, so where's a good place to keep them?
A cool, dry place.
Cool, dry, plug.
Like pantry,
Okay.
a drawer, or something like that.
Okay, so cool and dry.
Yeah, just like your batteries would want it, right?
Like a battery spa.
Exactly.
Okay, what else? What else can we do?
Another good tip is to avoid mixing old and new batteries.
Okay.
If you're putting batteries into a device, you want to use all fresh batteries.
Okay.
Don't mix and match.
Okay, so always pair up fresh batteries.
Exactly.
Okay.
You'll get better performance that way.
All right, anything else?
One last thing, I would say, don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Like we've seen from this deep dive, battery performance can be really subjective.
Yeah, it is.
So what works for one person might not work for another.
Oh, right.
So, try out different brands.
Okay.
See what works best for you.
See what works best for you. Okay.
Yeah, in your devices, in your, environment, all those things.
That's actually really empowering.
It is.
It means we're not just stuck with whatever the marketing people
Right.
tell us.
Exactly.
SEO.
We can make our own choices.
Right. We can do our own research.
Absolutely.
We can experiment.
You got it.
So yeah.
It's all about finding the batteries that work best for you.
Okay, so we talked about this before.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of intrigued by that user who said Voyager batteries.
Oh, yeah. The life-changing Voyager batteries.
Yeah, like what if it's not an exaggeration?
What if there's something special about these batteries?
Yeah, what if there really is something to that?
Maybe they hold the secret to the universe.
Maybe they do.
I don't know.
Or maybe they're just really good at powering a remote control.
Maybe.
We might never know.
That's true.
But that's part of the fun, right?
It is. It's all about the mystery.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This whole conversation has really changed the way I think about batteries.
You too.
I used to just think of them as like,
Yeah, just like a thing you have to buy every once in a while.
like a commodity.
Right.
But now I realize there's like a whole world.
There's a whole
There's
science,
and technology.
history, folklore.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And even like psychology and marketing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all wrapped up in this little cylinder.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you really don't think about it.
No, you don't.
But it's fascinating.
So, who knows what other battery secrets are out there just waiting to be discovered.
I'm sure there are more out there.
Yeah.
We just got to find them.
Yeah. But, before we go too far down that rabbit hole,
Right.
I think there's a bigger question here.
Okay.
I mean, given everything that we've talked about, how do we even define the best battery?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And I think what we've learned from all of this is that there is no easy answer.
Right.
It really is subjective.
Okay.
And it depends on so many things.
So it's not just about how long it lasts in a lab test or something.
No, not at all.
Okay.
The real world is messy.
Yeah.
There's so many variables.
Right. Yeah, we talked about, what device you're using it in.
Exactly.
How you're using it.
How you're storing it.
Yeah.
The
definitely.
temperature.
The brand.
Even just like, what you think about the brand.
Right, exactly. And, some people might just want the cheapest battery.
Right.
And other people might be willing to pay more for like a name brand.
Right.
Or for a battery that's like, better for the environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
People have different priorities.
Exactly. So it's not just about the science. It's about like the human element too. It's about, what's important to you
Right, yeah.
as an individual.
Yeah, it's like we've been on this weird sociological journey
Yeah, it's fascinating.
through the battery aisle.
I know. Who knew there was so much to it?
Yeah, we found all these hidden biases.
Brand loyalties.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories even.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So where does this leave us?
In our quest for the best battery,
Right?
have we found it?
I don't think so.
No.
I think the real answer is that there is no one best battery.
Okay.
The best battery for you is the one that meets your needs,
Right.
your priorities.
So it's not about finding the perfect battery.
No.
It's about finding the right battery for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
It means we have the power to choose.
We do?
We don't have to just listen to the marketing.
Right.
We can do our own research.
Right.
We can experiment.
Okay, I like that.
We can find what works best for us.
So this has been a really amazing journey.
It has.
We've explored so much.
I know.
We've talked about the science, we've talked about consumer choice.
Battery folklore.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew?
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, you really don't think about batteries too much.
You don't, but when you do,
It's a whole world.
yeah, it's fascinating. So, I think we've probably given everyone a lot to think about.
I hope so.
So, before we sign off, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
What are your priorities when it comes to batteries?
What are you looking for?
Is it all about performance?
Or are there other things that are important to you?
Let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
And until next time, happy battery hunting.
Happy hunting.